Hey everybody, this is Neil from the Mentionables and SoulWinningMinistry.com, and this is kind of a spontaneous video. I was just sitting on my couch and reflecting on things over the past few years, and decided I felt like I wanted to do a video that applies both as an apologetic to defend the faith, but also as a practical living for believers. As I grew older in my faith, I realized that every believer is going through one battle or another, or multiple battles. And that is incredibly difficult. My wife and I have gone through some difficult times. We've had some health issues to deal with. We've had job issues to deal with, and moving, and all sorts of stuff. And there are times when so many of us will just look up and go, "Why, God? Why are you doing this? It doesn't make sense. I mean, I thought when I was a Christian, life was supposed to get better," which is, I think, what a lot of people believe when they first become believers. But when we look at the lives of the apostles and the teaching of the scriptures, we see that most often, really, life becomes more difficult, more challenging. We have to die to our sinful desires, and we have to take up our crosses and follow after Christ and how we think and how we speak and how we act. But specifically, the apologetic aspect I want to deal with is, why do these bad things happen? If God is loving, why is he putting people, especially people who claim to believe in and worship him, believe in him and worship him, through such difficult times? And as I was going through some of my own personal trials, so to speak, in the past 2 years, there were two passages I found myself turning to over and over again. The first was the very beginning of James chapter 1, where he talks about God producing endurance in us through the challenges we face, and perfecting us and making us more like Christ. I think about the science teacher in me coming out. Carbon, when it's put under tremendous pressure and tremendous heat, will sometimes be purified into a beautiful diamond. And so what we have here is this sinner, this dark lump of coal, being put under pressure and heat, and God using that to sanctify us, to make us more clean and more pure and more holy as we go through those times. And God uses those. The second passage that I turned to was 2 Corinthians chapter 4, where Paul spoke about how he had faced all sorts of troubling circumstances, and yet God was faithful. One of the phrases was, "I am beat down but not destroyed." That one stuck with me so much, and I just wanted to use it as an encouragement, because there were times, long times, we're talking months and even into a year, 2, 3, where I felt beat down, just with circumstances and with things going on. Times when I'd just be weeping because of sadness or difficulty. And although I was beat down, I was not destroyed. And it was beautiful being able to turn to the scriptures and my experience in understanding theology and apologetics, not to lift myself up on a pedestal or anything, but to have that foundation, that knowledge, that not only that relationship with Christ, but the understanding of what the scriptures actually teach to help me push through those times. And so we see that as the apologetic aspect of this talk is going, bad things happen to us, or tough times happen to us, because God is sanctifying us. He's making us more like himself. And then the more experiential part of this is that God is with us through these times, and that there is light at the end of the tunnel, no matter how bad things get as a believer, because we know when death comes, paradise awaits for us, and so does Christ. And I want to encourage you out there, whether it's more of a apologetic issue you're dealing with, kind of like, why are these bad things happening, or if it's a more experiential Christian living thing you're dealing with, where, gosh, life is just so hard right now. I want to encourage you both, whatever camp you're in. There is hope. There are reasons. Christ is faithful. He is still there. Turn to him. He is always there, no matter how bad things get. He is always willing and waiting with open arms for those who will repent and trust in Him. So that's just what I felt like leaving with you this evening. This is kind of a spontaneous video, but I felt it is so important and so relevant to so many of us as we're going through difficult times. So if you'd like to get a hold of me, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm a part of the Mentionables, which is an apologetics group. Just search up the Mentionables on Facebook or Twitter or on the internet. And you can also get a hold of me directly at soulwinningministry.com or on Twitter at Neil K. Hess. That's at Neil, K as in Kenneth, Hess, Hess. So I hope this finds you well. God bless.